The game Saints-Falcons is fascinating because of what Raheem Morris has been able to do as the interim head coach. He, and interestingly enough, two big division games for the interim head coaches as Romeo Crennel, just like Raheem Morris, both teams 4-3 under their interim head coaches since the firings of Bill O'Brien and Dan Quinn, respectively. Do either of these guys have a shot at the 2021 gig, do you think, Albert?
Romeo Crennel, I'd say no. And I still think Houston's figuring out a lot of things, I'll put it that way. And that what road they're going to go down as far as the general manager, what Jack Easterby's place in the organization is, whether or not, is it possible, he could be gone? I think there's a lot of unanswered questions in Houston, and I have a hard time seeing where they wouldn't be resetting at the very least the head coach and general manager positions. As for Atlanta, I do think Raheem Morris has a very real chance there. He's got a relationship building. Rich McKay's, of course, worked with him. They both have ties back to Tampa.
Yep.
And I think you have to kind of rewind back to the beginning of this year. And, I made calls on these sorts of things over the summer. And, Raheem Morris was one of those names who, all right, this guy's ready for his second chance. And a lot of the reasons why people liked him 10 years ago, they're still there, and he's grown up a lot. And, the people in the Atlanta building really respond to him. And this is the second year in a row now we've seen this sort of response. Remember, last year when he was elevated to defensive coordinator, the Falcons caught fire. And now you elevate him to head coach, and they've caught fire again. And so I think, a lot of the reasons why people saw him as a potential head coaching candidate back in the summer, those are still there. And now he's bolstering his case with how the team's playing here down the stretch. He's still really young. And, I really think that this is a guy who could wind up being a really, really good find for somebody in his second shot as head coach. And it's something I think the Falcons have to consider now. You look at Anthony Lynn when, the Bills fired Rex Ryan a few years back, how Anthony Lynn really kind of showed who he was and wound up earning the Chargers job off of what he had done as an interim coach with the Bills. I think we're seeing the same sort of thing with Raheem, and maybe it's enough where he doesn't have to move and the Falcons wind up naming him the head coach. I'm not saying that's absolutely going to happen, but I think it's at least now in play.
I mean, if Todd Gurley had not accidentally scored, they'd be 5-2
with him, yeah.
Right, or 5-1. That's right. They're 5-1 with him. I mean, very, very impressive what's going on right there. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.